Let's go to line number. Man, I haven't started with my rant yet, but it's only going to be a 10-minute rant or so. But anyway, let's go to Brian. Come on in, Brian.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I called in because of your caller, Ray. I mean, I really liked what he had to say. I thought he made a lot of great points, and it's refreshing to hear his point of view. I really do hope that people do go to the polls this year and think about not only foreign but also domestic, and that, like I think what Ray said, if they just take a step back and look at the two candidates and think, who is my life going to be better under? I think there's really no other clear choice than Donald Trump for the president of 2024, because, and I think it's just clear cut both ways. If you look at it foreignly or domestically, our lives were so much better under the last administration than this one. I know a lot of people get hung up on the Supreme Court taking out Roe v. Wade, which I am disgusted by. I thought that was just the worst thing to happen in the United States, especially in recent history, but in the longest time, because even though I may agree more with the right side of the aisle, I don't agree with everything they do. I don't think anybody should do that with either party. But the economy, just overall business in general. I mean, how many stores are closing every day? Inflation's on the rise, which I know Donald Trump did help with that too. He was printing a ton of money at the Fed also. So he's not entirely blameless in that factor. But overall quality of life, and that this is looking at true, not true domestic issues. They're all domestic issues. But I do believe that he got no help from the media like Joe Biden does. So anything that any of the tiny things that did go wrong while he was president were just blown so out of proportion, and it skewed everybody's view. If you look at today, what's going on, not just abroad but also at home, we are so much worse off. And I think take the issues out of it. If you do like what your last call, not the last call, but what Ray said, if you just take a step back and you look at the two candidates who's up for the vote this year. One guy cannot say a complete sentence without falling over or having to sit down or mumbling his words or looking for a cue card, while the other guy does press conferences every single day, can talk not only in complete sentences but make valid points all on his own without anybody's help. So I think really, if you just look at them as two human beings, who do you want in charge? The guy that cannot get through a complete speech, or the guy that has been doing this for most of his life and it looks extremely capable, and that not only could run a business but can run a country.
All right. I really appreciate your call, my friend. And I want to first ask you, I gave you a chance to say everything that you wanted to say in complete sentences. Correct? And I didn't interrupt you, correct? All right, good. So let's have a conversation. And I'm going to take the time that I was going to use with my rant to have a conversation with you. And the reason I'm going to do that is that there are a lot of people who think like you. I don't think you're a bad person, I think, at all. But I think it's important that we look at facts for what they are. And I'm going to start with where you ended, as far as being able to make a coherent statement. And it concerns me that someone that sounds as smart as you are, because you're eloquent in the way you expressed yourself, that you would actually say that Donald Trump can have can string a sentence together. Yesterday, we did an experiment. We wrote out one of the things that he said on stage, and honestly, it makes no sense what he said. We also went ahead and look at the topics that he covered, listen to his entire speech that he gave in a rant, listen to when he talks about things like water coming out of showers and all of that. They also made no sense because they weren't true or factual. But I leave that side alone, and I look at that and say sometimes we give people a pass for the way they speak. But when you say that Biden is an old man. Trump is an old man. Biden is an old man. Trump also, Trump looks more vital than vibrant than Joe Biden. Anybody with eyes can see that. Has nothing to do with the mind, however. But my first question to you is from an economic standpoint. What did Trump do that made your life better? Specifically, what policy did Trump pass to make your life better?
Well, and I thought it was funny that somebody brought up taxes earlier. I mean, he did change the tax code to, I know, and I'm saying this.
Brother. I really made you talk, but I don't. Hold on. Wait, Brian, wait. I made you talk your entire thing. I really don't want to filibuster. What I want you to tell me, and I'll answer just as I will. Specifically, what policy did Trump pass to make your life better?
He made change to the tax code, and it may not have been him, but the Congress did during his tenure.
What in the tax? What, brother? Let me tell you what I want us to do. I don't want us to work on rhetoric, because I am going to tell you what policies are going to make your life better, and I'm going to explain to you why we had inflation. But beforehand, since you said things were better,
that made my life better. He had a closed border.
Okay, and how did that make your life better? A closed border.
I mean, how could it not make our lives better? You look at everything that's going on. I mean, we have over 10,000 people per day coming in. That's not only and economically.
Okay, sir, stop. I don't want to go into the rhetoric coming off of TV.
You asked it how.
And here's a question, sir. How is 10,000 people coming into our country? And I'm not saying it's not 10,000 a day coming in anymore, but let's go leave that number there. How is that materially affecting your life right now?
Well, it's not 10,000 anymore because the Biden administration finally shut it down through executive order. But
again, how is that? It doesn't matter the number now. I'm saying, how is a problem? Let me finish, sir.
Which do take general unskilled labor. And so when we have maybe there are illegals coming in and taking those jobs, it's taking jobs away.
Okay, let's stop there. There are studies. Sir. Okay, you said that. I got it.
A viable explanation.
No, you just gave it. You just gave it, and I want to answer that. I want to answer the vibe. I don't want to get into a lot of wordiology. Facts are facts, and we have done studies. We have a shortage of people in this country right now. And while we want to have control of our borders, the thing that we have on immigrants, first of all, is that we do need them. When Trump came into office, one of the things that were inflationary as he exited is the policy of these immigrants leaving Florida, which left Florida with a whole lot of unbuilt homes. Now homes in Florida are having major problems, both for insurance and homes. We also had the peaches in Georgia, because these are the states that were clamping down on immigrants. And that's why I said we have to work with facts here. The peaches were left on the ground in Georgia. We go to Arizona, they couldn't find enough workers to actually, and it wasn't that it was that people were now fearful because La Migra was coming to get them. So on the immigration issue, it's sad that it's all wrong. And I'm not blaming you for it. I'm blaming those who are misinforming you about it. So I want to go from the immigration issue
to the table on this topic.
Say that again.
I said, may I bring another point to this conversation?
Of course you can. Yes, sir. Please do.
Okay. So why, if we're all so against corporate greed nowadays, and especially the left bangs that drum a lot, which I agree with. If we're all so against corporate greed, why do we keep letting them hire undocumented or illegal or cheap, people that may be on.
You nailed it now, sir. You nailed it.
Why do we keep letting them hire them for below livable wages?
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Say, we can't hire anybody.
Okay, I got the point. Okay, look, it's a radio show. I need to
their income.
Brian, it's a radio show. I got to move you along, so you have to help me out here. So here's the deal. You hit the nail on the head as far as the corporations want the illegal immigration. You nailed it. The corporations want the illegal immigration. But here is the kicker. We want policies that allow the necessary immigration, which is we do need a lot of people, but we want to legalize how it's done, because guess what? At that point, we won't have that shadow economy. But guess what just happened? Trump told his people in Congress not to pass a bill that was written by an Oklahoma conservative who pointed out this is the most conservative bill ever attempted on immigration. So what I'm saying is we have to separate facts from fiction. But let's leave the immigration away, because I think I've settled that story. Let's go to economics. What economically did Trump do that made your life better?
Well, again, the president doesn't actually do that stuff. It's going to be the Fed.
All right. Okay, stop. Okay, you gave an answer. It's going to be the Feds. The Fed is there from Trump's time. But what I'm trying to show you folks is the following. All right. Brian is not a bad person. Brian is and I say this respectfully, Brian is a victim of false rhetoric. And let me explain what I'm saying now. And listen to me, and I want you to listen with an objective mind, just like I listened to your entire 5 minutes of narrative on why you thought Trump should be elected and should choose Trump. Let's go with some facts now, okay? Trump always spoke about, I'm going to have infrastructure week. Biden, in a bipartisan manner, passed an infrastructure bill that no president has been able to pass in the last 12 years. And within that infrastructure bill, most of it went to red states that didn't vote for him. But those are the states that need the most support because they have so decimated their personal state economies. And they are the ones getting the majority of the monies from the infrastructure bill passed bipartisanly under Biden. So that affects you materially, not rhetorically, materially. Number two, he passed the bill, the CHIPS bill. Our corporatocracy has moved all our jobs, or a lot of our jobs, overseas. In West Virginia, places that don't vote for Democrats. In Texas, places that don't always vote for Democrats. And all around the country. The CHIPS bill got passed, which are paying corporations. It's ridiculous. Socialized for corporations, paying corporations to bring their manufacturing back to the United States so that we don't have the supply chain problem we had during COVID. Did Biden create that supply chain problem? No. Conservative policies that wanted to keep government and regulations out of business allowed these unpatriotic companies to move their stuff overseas. And when there was a pandemic, and when there was a hurricane, and when there's any of these things, bringing the products in created shortages because they were delayed in coming in. So these guys took a big credit. They made a whole lot of money by not paying you, Brian. Don't blame the immigrants on that. They didn't pay you. It's the corporations who did it. And then they charged you when they couldn't get the products in time, and that's called inflation. That's not done by Biden. That's done by the corporatocracy under the auspices of supply side economics. Let's go a little bit further, my brother. When they came into power, and first of all, it wasn't Trump who gave the people a stimulus check during the Trump administration. We realized we had to inflate the economy because it was at a standstill because of all the crap the corporations did. All of this, folks, you can look it up. I'm not just speaking off the top of my head. You can look this stuff up. Now, the other thing that they did is, if you notice, when you went to buy gas during the pandemic and after the pandemic, there was never a time that you couldn't find gas. They made believe that the war in Ukraine caused your prices of gasoline to go up. That was one of the biggest lies that we allowed you to have that topic of inflation. The prices of that should have never gone up. if you believe in a capitalism, supply and demand portion, it just shows you that it's a fraud because we always had a glut of oil. How do we know that as a statement of fact? Because Saudi Arabia took 2 million barrels of oil a day off the market under the auspices of several Texas corporations who urged them to do it to keep the prices up high. And what's that called? Inflation. Was that a Biden doing? No. What did Biden do? Biden says, I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to open the petroleum reserve, throw some more oil on the market to bring the prices down artificially because you guys raised the prices artificially. Another statement of fact. Let's move a little bit further. You take a look at what the companies who sell eggs and wheat and all of these things said. They in their independent meetings to their shareholders said that inflation is a good thing for them. In other words, we are the ones who set prices. We will set the prices to make sure that you guys get $75 billion more in shareholder value and capital appreciation. That's not me saying, that's the executives of the companies. And you know how we know that's a statement of fact as well? If you take a look and you add the amount of inflation that we have in the market and then tie that to the excess profits of these companies, the increase in profits over what they've normally made, and Representative Katie Porter did it, you find out that, oh my God, inflation wasn't caused because of prices going up on the people who produce things. It went up because the shareholders got more money because they increased prices. If you then take a look at the guy that you like, Mr. Trump's word, he goes into a closed meeting and he said, you guys are going to like me because you're going to make more money. These guys are already making more money than they deserve or that they earned. He told them they would make more money. So, my brother Brian, the right answer, look, everybody has the vote that they want. You can choose and vote whomever you want to vote for. But if you want to vote on reality, if you want to vote on what actually happened, I suggest you continue to listen to our show objectively and not believe the crap that you hear in the right-wing media that packages lies in such a manner that it's believable. So I'm going to let you go here now. I gave you your time to speak, and that was my answer. Thank you so kindly, Brian. I hope to hear from you again, and I hope that you continue to listen to our program. And with that, I'm going to go to Moses. Come on in, Moses.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.